Does anyone else remember Marvel's Avengers Alliance on Facebook? In high school, I got grounded from my consoles for a few months, and all my cheap computer could run was Flash games and Polar Bowler. One fateful day while posting highbrow memes on Facebook, I stumbled upon this game. It was everything my boy brain craved: superheroes, turn-based combat, and most importantly, it was free to play. And despite being grounded, I gave this a shot. And I gotta say, this game broadened my horizons of Marvel forever. And I'm not the only one. Hi, I'm Socks, and buckle up as we dive back into one of gaming's hidden gems that Disney tried to erase from their history. As we entered the dawn of the superhero era, Disney Interactive tasked Playdom to create a turn-based Avengers social network game to help promote the first Avengers movie. It released only on Facebook on March 1st, 2012, to an odd reception. People didn't really know what to make of the game, with an ad campaign that was oddly small for being an Avengers tie-in game. At a first look, Avengers Alliance felt like it was an amalgamation of several game types. Turn-based combat with type advantages like Pokemon, base building and resource farming like Farmville, and light gambling addiction like Poker Night 2.
Even Steve could have won with those cards, and all he can say is hey-o! Shut the f*** up, Steve!
This weird combination of game designs got me hooked. The game begins with the self-inserted S.H.I.E.L.D. agent being recruited by Mr. Glass himself to lead a team of superheroes against Hydra's plan to resurrect the Red Skull. I was honestly shocked there was even a narrative. Most of the time, games on Facebook were just pick up and play time killers that would emphasize social interactions with your friends, or in my case, my neighbor Judith. See, most people didn't care for a dramatic narrative with their Candy Crush runs. But Marvel's Entertainment's Vice President of Games Production, T.Q. Jefferson, said in an interview, "The thing that is critical to Marvel's DNA is story. Take that how you will with the current Spidey run." I'm looking at you, Zeb Wells. So even though Avengers Alliance was released alongside the blockbuster MCU movie, Jefferson wanted lead writer Alex Irvine to create a standalone narrative for the game. This choice resulted in 2 seasons of story missions told through the visual novel type format, which surprisingly went harder than I expected. Don't get me wrong, it's no Spider-Man 3 class of storytelling.
You're a good woman, I'm a good man.
But when it hits, it hits. The writers had a ton of fun, introducing various characters from the Marvel Universe, and not being afraid to kill off said characters. It was surprisingly more mature than I thought. Usually Facebook games appeal to kids or moms, but designers wanted to target the 20 to 40 age demographic. But the demographic I'm targeting is cool dudes and dudettes who love video games and comics. If you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This year is going to be a big one, filled with amazing content from hidden gems to gaming treasures, and even some streaming. Oh, I just killed the Pope! So stay tuned for more.
Take a look at this! Jesus Christ!
Though it might not be for everyone, I really enjoyed this filmic art style, a blend of realism from the movies and expressionism from the comics. It was authentic enough for hardcore Marvel fans, but not too stylish to turn away the casual audience. The art design was consistent, and it translated well amongst the roster of 166 characters. Even goofy-ass characters like the Avalanche didn't stick out like a sore thumb, and he looked like one. Speaking of characters, the roster is expansive. If you're a casual fan like Judith over here, you have your Iron Mans, your Captain Americas, your Thors. But if you're a hardcore fan like me, you have Spiral, a stunt woman genetically transformed into a 6-armed assassin by aliens. Or Union Jack, who's
British?
The decision by the art team to go with the classic costumes were perfect. Each costume is easily recognizable and pops right off the screen. Sam Wood and Kelly Hamilton's character portraits were amazing. The dynamic poses sold the personality of each character so well. Wolverine looks savage, Red She-Hulk looks like my mommy, and Captain Britain looks
British?
The visual flares didn't stop there. Animated sprites for unique moves in combat, a plethora of legacy costumes, and most importantly, character bios. When a new character could be only unlocked using premium currencies, you know my ass read all the character bios before I even chose a new hero. I don't think I would have known who Elsa Bloodstone was if it wasn't for this game. She uses guns, she's got a sick duster, and most importantly, she's... Marvel character designers know only one personality trait for British people, and that's just being British. The great art style got me in the door, but the gameplay kept me going, even though I should have been studying for the SAT. As I mentioned before, the game plays like Pokemon, with turn-based 3v3 combat with rock, paper, scissors type advantages. All characters are divided into 6 classes: blasters, bruisers, grappers, infiltrators, tacticians, and useless. However, there was much more to that than just damage output. The type matchups changed gameplay. Tacticians hitting blasters give him a second turn, but on the flip, if a tactician hits an infiltrator, it leaves them open for a counterattack. Now, team comp matters, which adds such a nice layer of complexity to a simple type advantage mechanic. My personal favorite class type was the Bruisers, for reasons I don't need to explain to you. Some characters' alternate costumes would even straight up change their typing, like Spider-Man becoming a Bruiser when wearing the black suit, which just makes sense canonically. The combination of team bonuses, class typing, and attack effects led to infinite possibilities, and the endgame became an arms race on who could create the most OP team. Modes like PvP helped players test their endgame builds against each other. I remember getting thrashed by the likes of Hercules and Havoc, then spent the day trying to get those characters and trying that build out for myself. Alongside PvP, players had daily missions and challenges that would reward the player with elite resources, from new characters to legendary gear. There was always plenty to do and achieve in this game. The community was another reason this game was so beloved. I don't know if I mentioned this anywhere in this video, but this is a Facebook social network game, designed from the ground up to encourage players to interact with other players. Though the in-game interactions was a little forced. Certain missions could only be completed if you shared them on your Facebook timeline. Look, I like the game as much as the next guy, but I don't need gold from my racist uncle that bad. Instead, the community opted to help each other out outside the game. Through the use of forums and databases, players helped other players understand the game's mechanics and good farming spots. The community even figured out how to acquire gold faster through the method of switching guild servers when there were timed to gold events in specific servers. This allowed newer players to get new heroes faster and avoid paying those sweet microtransactions. Through constant game updates, which included new story missions, playable characters and items, and a community that was thriving with an ever-changing meta, Avengers Alliance had a big commercial success, leading to a comic run with Sam Wood being the lead artist, mobile releases for iOS and Android, the release of its sequel, and G4's Best Social Game of the Year, baby! Hey, beating out Simpsons Tapped Out is no small feat. Additionally, alongside the juggernauts the MCU was becoming, the long-term success of Avengers Alliance seemed inevitable. On September 1st, 2016, Disney announced the shutdown of Avengers Alliance 1 and 2 as part of its massive layoffs of the Disney Interactive division. This sent shockwaves through the fan base, as for the most part, the game seemed to be doing extremely well for Disney. But if Avalanche Software's extremely successful Disney Infinity could get canned, no game was safe. Disney addressed the sudden shutdown by saying, "At this time, we are shifting our development focus towards other online and mobile play experiences, and the growing selection of Disney mobile apps." This statement was so disheartening for a lot of fans who put a lot of money and time in the last 4 years playing a game that brought them so much joy, to all of a sudden getting kicked out to the curb. One angry Facebook commenter stated, "So you're shutting it down to focus on other games? Why would any of us play any new games you released knowing what you did to this one?" On September 30th, 2016, the game had its official shutdown on all platforms, as well its developer Playdom going under. It's a little scary how fast Disney forgot about this game. In my research for this video, it was difficult to find a lot of information about the development of the game or financial records. I ran into countless 404 links, even for the simplest information, which felt like Disney didn't want me to know this information, or they just didn't care to archive anything. It's just sad for a game that brought us countless new fans into the Marvel Universe and provided hours of enjoyment to kids who were grounded, like me. I have such fond memories of this game, but it was forever stained by how weirdly things ended. I miss the art, the story, the gameplay, and most importantly, the community for Avengers Alliance. No other superhero collection game has filled that void in my heart. Marvel's Strike Force made an attempt, but I felt like it always lacked the soul of Avengers Alliance, as well as having much worse microtransaction, opting for more of a gacha style game mechanic than just like letting you buy the heroes you want. Like I don't understand that. It's so dumb. Not to worry, because when a bunch of passionate fanboys get together in a room, anything is possible. Well, at least the revival of a classic game is possible. A Reddit user by the name Gaming Life Beginner began gathering support for the resurrection of this beloved game, assembling a team of programmers, writers, and artists under the banner of Saviors of the Multiverse. However, due to personal life issues, the development of the project came to a halt, resulting in Gaming Life Beginner's disappearance from Reddit. After months of silence, Jason Matz, aka Goofy Troll, picked up the shield and developed his own version of the game using the original XML files and the resources made by the Saviors of the Multiverse, and rebranded as Avengers Alliance Redux. This revival has been in the works for the past 5 years. Since Disney wiped a lot of the assets from existence, the team has been working from the ground up, rebuilding characters, mechanics, and adding new quality of life features. Though far from completion, there is a playable beta. I'll leave the link to the download below. In a time where superhero content can be found anywhere and everywhere, I just want to appreciate how wild it was to find a gem of a superhero video game on Facebook of all places in 2012. A game that didn't have any business to be as good as it was, that captured the interest of many different types of fans and broadened their knowledge about the Marvel Universe. It's sad to see how Disney treated this game post-closure, but I am hopeful to see the future of Marvel Redux. Hopefully Disney leaves them alone and we get some classic content, but be sure to support those guys because they're kind of doing it in their free time, and it's a lot of work. So go out and support them. And thank you guys for joining me in this trip through memory lane. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this Hidden Gem series and what other games you guys want me to cover. This year is going to be a wild one, and I'm excited to continue making fun and engaging content for you guys. Until next time, smooth winds and safe travel, mates.
Your lives are over, babe.